Do you want to put car seats in your ute? I'm going to show you two different types of car seats, an ISOFIX and a seat without ISOFIX, how I'm going to put them in my X-Terrain. If you're not comfortable with putting seats in your own ute, make sure you get a licensed person to do it, but I'm going to show you the safest way that I do it. I love my kids, I never want them to get hurt, so I'm going to show you how I put them in to make sure their seats are secured and how I know they're not going to go anywhere. Make sure you keep watching because I'm going to show you a few extra things that I've thrown in to make sure that my car seats don't actually get damaged by the kids. Let's get into it. So what I'm going to start with is installing a protector for the seat itself because I don't want my seats getting damaged. Now I've done this, I'm going to start by installing the ISOFIX seat. So watch for how I install this, I'll talk through it. Now you've got your seat protector in place, you want to make sure it's looped over the back of the headrest connection points, and you want to disconnect the headrest. You just do that by lifting it up and pushing the button in. You might have to slide your seat forward to be able to remove it. If you've got two car seats, you're going to want to do them both at the same time. Now that the headrests are removed and you've made sure that you've got your top tether strap hanging out, if you've got two seats, make sure you have it hanging out on both sides. You can start to install the seat itself. So I'm starting with the ISOFIX seat, so let's get into it. Before you do your bottom ISOFIX, you want to run your top tether through. Don't tension it, and then put your headrest back in, especially if you've got two seats to do. When doing the top tension, make sure you've got enough belt to meet the middle ankle point. So I'm going to start by feeding it through the loop and going to the middle anchor point. I've now anchored onto the middle anchor point. I'm pulling the slack back through. Now I've got the headrest back in, I'm going to do the bottom ISOFIX. So now I've got the seat in position, I'm going to make sure my ISOFIX straps are nice and loose. I'm going to plug them in on both sides, so they just mount around the bottom. Now I've got them both plugged in, I'm going to slowly tension them. Now I've got both sides roughly tensioned, I'm going to put my full body weight on the seat and pull down, and the ISOFIX screens will go green. You don't have to do this, but I like to do it to give that little bit of extra firmness. Alright, both my ISOFIX connectors are showing green. I'm now going to do the top tether strap. Sorry if this video seems a little bit jumbled, it's just because I'm learning things along the way. I start at the bottom first, so it's nice and tensioned at the bottom. That way I can get really good tension at the top. Now I've tensioned it, I'm just going to put the buckle away. So now I'm going to do the seat that doesn't have ISOFIX. This is what you call a gated buckle. This is a good thing to have to make sure your seat is secure. Now, a lot of people may not know what this is, but I'm going to show you how to use it. And make sure that your seat is nice and tight and isn't going to move. So let me show you how to put it in. I've also already run the top tether. Just because I'm putting two seats in, I had to do it at the same time as the other one. So make sure you run both if you're going to be putting two seats in at once, otherwise you'll have to pull apart the first seat. So what you want to do here is get the bottom piece of the seatbelt that's mounted to the floor and run the gated buckle through that. So you go through the first section
and then you go through the second section. Now what you're going to do is stretch out the length that's going to go through the seat back, and it pretty much doubles over. What this will do is just lock that section at the desired length that you want. So now I'm going to feed it back through the gated buckle, pretty much reversing what I did with the first piece. So that way it means that the length that goes from the floor to the gated buckle will keep your height, and that will keep your length that goes through the seat, so that way you can tension it by pulling through the top piece. So what you're able to see here is it's connected as it pulled through, but you can see that there's too much length. So what I'm going to do is clip it in, and then I'll go back over to the other side and I'll retension the other side. So I'm just pulling it back through now, just the top piece, and I'm just finding out what the desired length is. I'm doing it so just enough so it just touches the seat buckle, and that way I can put some pressure on the seat and push it down with my knee, so that way it locks in nice and tight. So now I'm just putting pressure on the seat, and I'm going to bounce on it just so that way it makes it super tight, and that way the bottom won't go anywhere. Now it's locked in, the seat's not going to go anywhere, and I can tension the top piece with ease.
Now for the bonus. I got these seat back protectors to protect from feet, from kicking the seats. My daughter loves to kick the back of the seats, so it might be worth getting these if you want to protect the back of your seats from little kids' feet. Make sure you keep watching for the next video.